colloidal, if I'm saying that
Colloidal
right,
silver.
colloidal silver in it. That stuff is
Hello, good evening. We just spent 15 minutes trying to get on air. I don't know what the problem is between StreamYard and YouTube, but if both businesses could get their fingers out and get their act together, it would be much appreciated. I also am getting some sort of message that we've rescheduled, so I have no idea what's happening there. If anybody can come up and let me know, that would be fantastic.
It was a
Meanwhile, we're actually
suggestion.
here until I get
It
told
was-
differently. We've got Wee with us and Griffey, and we still intend to discuss the whole mess with a certain Liverpudlian YouTuber who seems obsessed with the idea that everything is a conspiracy and that there are no decent people on planet Earth.
Hold on,
I don't
Karl.
know where you want to start, ladies.
Griffey says that the stream is unlisted at the moment.
Is that right?
I know that Tanga had tried to push the stream back. That's why the schedule had gone back on the planner, but it also says unlisted at the moment.
Okie dokie. Well, I have no idea what we're doing then.
We can chatterbox for a little bit.
Let me nip
can
over
shoot
to the
shit with
Discord
it right here.
moment. If you'd like to twiddle your thumbs.
Yep, rallying the troops.
Oh,
Tell your friends, everybody.
tell them
We're here.
I don't see a. Is there a time? I don't even see a time on it. Yeah. Hi, TT. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Stella again.
Hello, everyone.
I love your laugh, Griffey. You just crack me up. You always make me, and we too, all of you.
Well, I would laugh a lot more if I could crack her Liverpudlian a bit.
I need some laughter.
We've got all the giggles for you. Don't worry.
Good.
We
Hi,
got
Georgette. Uh-oh.
I don't have anything wrong.
Rats.
Miss Pearl, this is a momentous and very special occasion due to the fact that I am drinking tea. Just for you.
Aw, you've just reminded me I have coffee that I made like 45 minutes ago. Thank you.
I tried to find the tea that Pearl drinks, and I was having a hard time. When I went in the store, it was saying English black tea, and I thought, I don't know about that. And it's Earl Grey, right, Pearl? I think she drinks Earl Grey.
Earl Grey is definitely an acquired taste because
Is it?
well, it's not bad. It's just different. They're all different. That's the wonderful thing about tea. It's like coffee. You can get a million varieties. They all taste
Right.
totally separate.
I won't do coffee. I like cappuccino.
Now,
I like
let's talk.
coffee too.
You won't do coffee, but you like cappuccino.
I know.
Okay.
I love the smell of coffee. I can't handle. My mom would drink it black. And I'm like, oh no, thank you. Mm-mm.
I bless mine with the tiniest bit of milk so that
Yep.
it feels like it's getting something, but there's really barely any milk in it.
Right. Does anybody
didn't-
know if anybody
Okay.
can actually find this live? Because there are only
Let me go
14
look.
people.
I know. Let me look. Let's see.
If it's unlisted, they won't be able to.
They won't-
No, and I don't know how to make it public.
Listed.
Tanga said
The
that she
only-
was coming up, but she's nowhere to be found. And
she's probably off
She
sending
may
that
be
to you.
stuck too. Yeah, it's not showing anything.
Like the live is definitely active on YouTube, but that's because I was already sitting.
Right. But yeah, it's not showing anything. Hi, Amanda. There's Tanga. That's
imagine
exactly the face we
Tanga's
need to have.
right. You're right. That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what Tanga's face looks right now.
hey, ladies, I don't know if anybody can find this live. There are only
Eliza.
11 people watching, and I think it's unlisted, and I don't know what to do about it. I
Let me
couldn't
see
get
if
in
I can
here.
fix it.
I couldn't get in
The
here
only
for
thing I
15 minutes, and then when I got in
If
here,
not, I can go out and do it.
I couldn't scroll through anything, and I couldn't hit anything. I don't know what was going on.
Please hold. Your view is very important to us. We are
Well,
grateful for your calls. Just
We'll
please
allow
hold
you to
while we
listen
sort
to
out
some.
the
We'll
technical.
allow you to listen to some elevator music while you wait.
Man.
Sorry.
Sorry, everybody.
I just got a notification that it went live, so it worked.
Okay.
Woohoo!
One of
That
those
added-
Fridays.
It added a wee bit of excitement that none of us were expecting. You know?
I
mean,
was
that's
about
good.
to break into Back to Black.
Go for it.
No, because then we'll get hit with a
And we're
copyright
back.
strike now that we're actually public. Hey, Fox Mulder in the chat.
I love that
Hey.
name.
I do as well.
Hey, everybody, just getting here. Sorry you missed most of the live. I don't know where you were, but we've been right here.
Was she dressed? Lisa, I hope she was dressed. Hi, Lanny. Hi, Archangel. I love that name too.
Hey, Jimmy. Always good to see Jimmy Buckley in the chat.
Hi, Stars. Hi, Chris.
To say that we've had some technical challenges would be an understatement. No doubt that there's somebody in Liverpool who'd say it's aliens or some sort of Mayan calendar curse, but it seems to be a StreamYard issue. So hopefully now things will work.
I know we're blessed to have Steffi, gosh, Griffey, and we.
And did you guys welcome Six Up Media, new member? She must have just renewed or something. She
Welcome,
was a
Six
member
Up.
already, but welcome.
You're always very, very welcome, Six. And congratulations on winning the sound clip game.
Oh yeah,
Woohoo!
she was the winner. Oh, who said what, right?
Yes.
And
People
the
are
bingo
excited
game
about-
seems to be going pretty good.
Yes, the bingo
Sounds like
game
it.
continues until we get some claims. There are 3 prizes. So we'll carry on and see how that goes.
Those are you.
Hopefully somebody will become a winner over the weekend.
Yeah. I know some people got to be getting close.
Some people have got quite a lot of squares
JBT
on their
Griffey.
bingo card.
Yeah, I've seen several been sent.
And hey, Griffey.
Hey, KB, it's good to see you.
Yeah, welcome,
you.
Griffey. Welcome, Wee.
Hey, Wee.
Hey.
Well, we're waiting for everybody to trundle in so that we don't start until we've got a good number in here, because the information is so important. Oh, Fox Mulder's enjoying the bingo game. Great. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. He laughed reading the card. I bet you did. I laughed making them. So many cliches. So many.
Well,
I
as
don't
long
know
as
if
Fox likes it, Pearl is going to
Yes,
do it again and again.
exactly.
You have
That's
just
all I need. That's my criteria. Speaking of which,
I
Griffey,
hate
have you
them.
seen the Our Flag Means Death actual full-length trailer that came out? Was it yesterday or the day before? It's very good.
I did, Miss Pearl.
I can't wait. It's going to be a long 3 weeks. Hey, Soup. Soup can't be
Most
with us this
definitely.
evening because she's having technological issues. I mean, we've had some spectacular ones as well, but personal level technological issues. Yeah, what I was going to say was, did anybody catch Benny last night?
Oh my God, what the heck was that? Like the first 15 minutes or something, he was just a mime.
It was hilarious. That to be honest, I would have rather have had the whole show be like the first 15 minutes where he was just posing and preening and didn't realise that not a single sound was coming out of his mic.
Do you guys know what I did? I'm so evil. I took and clipped that at double speed, and I'm going to put Charlie Chaplin music behind it. The silent part in the beginning.
Fantastic. But what annoyed me about it was he'd obviously he's caught between 2 sort of warring sides of people that he's fairly close to, and obviously
Right.
Tiffany seems to be the owner of his leash at the moment.
Yes.
And so,
yes.
of course, he's very much falling into that whole what Tiffany wants, Tiffany gets routine, and seemed to be sort of fixated on replaying and replaying and replaying 10 times in a live that was 1 hour and 2 minutes long. He played the recording of Valoma making a threat. Everybody's heard it. Most people haven't heard the apology, which was substantive and sincere and took everything seriously. I don't believe anybody took that threat seriously. I'm sorry. It was such extreme hyperbole. Don't tell
Right.
me that you genuinely believed that she was going to put your skull on the front of her truck. Please. Have you seen it? I know she's a very determined woman. Don't get me wrong. And if her life depended on it, she probably could. But no, she was not going to do any of that. It was a moment of extreme emotion in a situation that was pretty fucking disgusting all round. And you can't let that go because it serves your purpose to keep replaying it and replaying it. And I found it particularly frustrating that all those people were in Benny's chat, all playing of being so dramatically appalled and feeling like this was sincere. And it reminded me of a few things that Benny has said. Let me just line up my video clip.
There's a whole lot of things that old Benny has said that if we have to start dragging them up, we could do a full 24-hour stream on the countless
Exactly.
threats.
And what I decided, an error occurred. Wait a minute and try again. That has been the whole evening with you, StreamYard. Why don't you get your act together?
What does StreamYard do?
It told me that it couldn't upload that, and I needed to wait a moment.
Ugh.
Nope, it says it's uploading. Everybody cross your fingers. So I decided that I wasn't even going to play with the ridiculous things that Benny has said. But I remembered a couple of very real threats that were made, to the point of him saying that he was in the kitchen with the person and a knife. And I just thought, you're all here with somebody who's got an ankle bracelet on because he's going to court for the situation with his ex-partner, and somebody who has made very real threats in interviews with people. But you're all appalled at this hyperbole and extreme emotion from Valoma. I don't believe you. And if I did believe you, I would wonder how you hypocrites could be there with Benny, supporting him when Benny said this.
He'll never forget it. Who said, I'm going to have a come to Jesus with that man. And pretty much if he's not 100%
he doesn't tell
honest,
he doesn't tell me what I know he knows, I'm going to kill him.
you're going to gut him like a fish.
I'm going to gut him like a fish.
In the woods.
In the woods.
And yeah, we were like, wow.
Oh.
But you're
Almost like he has
outraged.
fake outrage, huh?
I can't believe you. I won't believe you. Yes, what Valoma said was packed with extreme emotion and extreme description. And I don't believe for a moment that any of you took that seriously. It's just a weapon to use against her. Also, he's never made an apology for that. We're talking about a very real situation where he was in that man's house, in that man's kitchen, standing there with that man and a knife on the counter. And he's repeated it in alternate settings. And he's never taken it back.
And let's not forget, it's the same dude that ran down the hill with the little log in his hand like it was just a piece of performance art. No, Benny. You have proved who you are. Your little ankle monitor proves who you are. Your ex-wife knows who you are.
I had the misfortune to see you gutting a dog. I know that you're quite capable of picking up a knife and acting. But no, you're also outraged by Valoma. It's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. but you will keep playing the game. I just don't want to hear anything more about it. This is just a weapon for Tiffany and Bombshell and other people to attack this woman because she won't conform to the way you want her to act. She won't be beaten down. You can't make her cower. She will do what she wants to do, and she will say what she wants to say, and she will act with all the integrity that she's got, which is a great deal. And you can't stand it. So you're just going to try and tear her apart. And the method by which you've chosen to do that is to say that she's unstable and that she has a terrible temper. And it's all based on this threat. And I'm not sure what I would have said if you'd have made light of my son's death. I probably would have said something very similar. Not sure I would have apologised.
Right.
Right?
People say a lot of things when you make fun of people that they love, that they've brought into this world, who they've had to bury years and years before their time. And you make light and you make a snide comment. And then you act all appalled and terrified when they lash back out at you. It's a game. Everybody with any sense can see it's a game. And if you can't see it's a game, then you're just part of it. And I'm not going to give you a pass on it. I'm not going to pretend that you take this seriously. I'm not going to pretend that you're all desperately appalled and it was an awful thing. Loads of people say very extreme things. You sit in the chat of one of them and you don't have a problem with that because your outrage is selective.
Well, not too long ago, Benny's sister passed, and some people were saying some very unfortunate things at the time, things that I would never support. I had compassion for Benny losing his sister. Considering that that didn't happen so long ago, you would think he would have a wee bit more presence of mind to recall what that felt like. And that wasn't your child.
Can you imagine
And
his
part of the
response if something had happened to his son and somebody made light of it?
right, part of the problem is that people are going on and on about that clip without understanding what happened to make Valoma sort of snap out of, to reach, what does she call that, reach her 10 level or whatever it is, to get her that upset.
Past her 10.
Yeah, past her 10. People, nobody cares about what happened before that. And she doesn't say. Valoma today will tell you that it wasn't okay for her to reach past there and to say what she said. She'll tell you that. And she has told us that many times. But nobody takes a look at what pushed her there. What happened that pushed her there? And even Benny will tell you last night in all that nonsense that he has no idea what happened. He's just got sent that clip and he's going to play it 10 times? 10 times without caring about what set her in that place. Nah, you don't get to judge if you haven't stood in the shoes Valoma has stood in. That's my opinion on the matter.
Yeah, well, the people who quite happily listened to that snippet being played 10 times in 1 hour and 2 minutes can listen to this just one more time. I won't bang it on all night, but just listen and think about where you are and what you're saying and what you're doing.
Thing that I'm most regretful of is that I didn't kill Don Wells when I had a chance. I was there and he was not in his right mind. It was a knife on the counter and I thought this fool make one shifty move. I'm gonna put this knife in his neck. And I had to restrain myself that night, and I felt like the world would be better off without him. And
But that would have ended up being a very big regret.
yeah, but it's the truth. There was a point in time during that trip where I aimed to kill that man, and I didn't.
Saying that, you've said something to Mr. Sheriff. Do you remember that? He'll never forget it. You said, I'm going to have a come to Jesus with that man. And pretty much if he's not 100%
He doesn't tell
honest,
he doesn't tell me what I know he knows. I'm gonna kill him.
you're going to gut him like fish
I'm gonna gut him like a fish
in the woods.
in the woods.
And yeah, we were like, wow.
There's a lot of you women out here, creators who've got sons, speaking so lightly about karma, about other people's karma. And I wonder if you're testing the universe. Because I tell you now, I wouldn't be testing karma in the universe with my son by talking about somebody else losing their son being karma. I wouldn't want to risk that for me.
Right. Or claiming to be God-fearing people and then
Oh,
putting
yes.
all that stuff out into the world. God
Mhm.
doesn't like nasty.
Oh, so many of you. Yeah, you've got your God in your mouth, but he's not in your heart, is he? You certainly have no compassion and no concern. But you carry on being holier than thou, talking about karma, thinking that the world can't touch you. The world will always surprise you. I'm a Valoma. I'm proud to stand with Valoma. I'll always be proud to stand next to her. Yes, what she said was extreme. And she apologised completely. You don't seem to be concerned about that. You just want to hammer her and hammer her with this quote over and over again to try and undermine who she is and what she does. It won't work because anybody who gets to know her over any amount of time will understand that you have your axe to grind, either because there was a money situation going on or because you dislike the fact that she's not the sort of person who will kowtow to you, Tiffany. Benny, just because you've been told that this is what you need to do and you go along to get along sometimes, don't you? If you've got an issue with anything that's been shown here tonight, I made that, Pearl Devere. Tiffany, if you've got an attitude with anything that I've said tonight, I'm here, Pearl Devere, nobody else. Come at me. I couldn't give a toss.
Right,
Anyway,
we're not
ladies,
worried.
I'm not worried at all.
I stand fully beside everything that you said up here, though, Pearl.
Yep. Amen.
All of it.
Same.
Yep,
I'm
I
pretty
Same.
stand
sure
with
that you do, but because I didn't discuss this beforehand, I'm quite willing to stick my flag in the ground and say, have at it. Couldn't give a damn.
Right.
Also, shout out apparently, and I cannot remember what this fake troll's name is. Nissan is the surname, can't remember what the first name is. Something that sounds vaguely foreign. Because you've got some sort of cliched caricature picture of a black man that you also attach to it. Nice multi-level insult trolling there. Keep going into chats talking about me dying in agony. I don't care. You can't touch me. Every day that I'm here on this earth is a blessing and a two-fingered salute to you. Good night. Right, ladies, you were saying.
Sounds like we Nissan is living in agony, so there's that. Love that for you, Nissan. Love it. Talking about Tiffany though, she's decided to do the whole 1-2 punch of the situation by somehow claiming to know better than Valoma how her son died.
Oof, I can't.
Tiffany, for somebody that put out into the world that we expect too much of you because of a fake check, you need to sit all the way down right now. You are in no position to be telling any grieving mother how their child died. You weren't there. That is not your son. Sit down.
Easy on your pelvis as you take that seat. Mm. Hey, Kim.
You know what's blowing her pelvis out? It's the fact that she's so full of shit. I've just seen that post, Tiffany. You were so full of shit that if they gave you an enema, they could fold your remains and bury you in a matchbox.
I'm so glad I was muted because I already lost it when you said, you know what would throw her pelvis out?
I know exactly what you're hinting at.
Yep.
And I know exactly the reason that Valoma is as discreet as she is, because even in her loss, she's a kind woman. And the fact that you are digging in to try and turn something over, to try and hurt even more people, nothing that Valoma has said is a lie.
I think TM doesn't like Valoma because she will never be the type of woman with the character Valoma has.
No,
Respectable?
She can't.
Is that what
Right,
you mean?
she'll
She'll never be respectable.
She can
somebody
never
who
come
actually makes things
close to
happen
the
in the
class
real
of
world.
that lady. Yes.
Tiffany's a slight someone in a tiny, tiny little section of a very large internet. You know, she's a sort of very average sized fish in a minute pool. And somehow that has given her the idea that she's something special. You're not. You're a bog standard goldfish. There are 50 of you at the local pet shop. You are nothing special. You'll never be Valoma making things happen in the real world. You need to accept that and stop doing these petty games of trying to pretend that there is some great drama and some great secret and possibly something really, really bad and illegal. Anybody who actually knows what went on knows that's not the case. It's Valoma being kind. But just like when you turned on your mods and took things from their lives and expanded them and made them disgusting and over-exaggerated and plain out lies in most cases, this is what you're doing to Valoma. You've crossed enough people now that lots of people are aware of the way that you play the game, that you will quite happily lie and hit people at their most personal spot and undermine their feelings and emotions and take things that are personal to them and things that traumatize them and drag them for it. The way that you treated your former mods was disgraceful, which is why I'm not at all surprised that you would take a grieving woman and try to tear her apart like this, because this is just your modus operandi. This is what you do. This is the Tiffany way. You're a bog standard goldfish in a small pool. Look at yourself in the mirror, flap your gills, accept what you are, move on.
Yeah. It's a whole marriage made in hell, and we're all having to experience the result of it. Tiffany, your man, the one you're allied to now, whether he's just your BFF or the man you've got your sights on, I don't care. Either way, he is a total scumbag.
Well, they're a
You
good
do
match
not
then.
stand up for women. You do not. Remember all those streams you did where you believed the victim? Remember those? You are a mockery of your own self. That's why nobody takes you seriously.
Somebody needs to weld that fucking crypt door shut.
Oh. You know, Valoma could give lessons on how an apology should be made. And everybody forgets that to mention how quickly afterwards the Valoma made that statement that she apologized. But everybody forgets about the apology. Everybody acts like that didn't happen.
Vested
Benny never
interest.
apologized.
Yeah, they don't want to acknowledge the apology because that disarms the fact that they're focusing on the threat, which is their weapon of choice. It's just what it is. Anyway,
When's Tiffany
ladies.
gonna apologize? Oh, that's right. Never.
She wrote the apology down on the back of the bouncing check, which is why no one's ever seen it. Shall we move on to something constructive?
Yes.
Well, let's
Yes.
not forget, though, that Tiffany is independently wealthy. Let's
Oh,
not
sure.
forget that. Independently wealthy, but with her little
I actually
rubber
think
check.
that is one of the things that that bugs her. The Valoma is actually independently wealthy and does something constructive with the money. You know, doesn't just sort of flip-flop her way out to Dunkin' Donuts and abuse the staff.
Right.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
that.
I admire your resilience in one thing, Tiffany, that you can humiliate yourself over and over and over again, and yet still your ego bounces back. It's got to be worth something. Not much, but something.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, I have a sore patch on my side. I'm not in a very good mood.
She's lying. It's on her butt. She's butthurt.
Ironically, if it was on my butt, it would be easier to cushion.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Cushioning the sides, you know, the arm bit, you know, in your wheelchair is sort of that is
yeah.
always the annoying bit because obviously you've got to get your arm over the top as well. So you can't really, yeah, anyway. So, Karl.
Yes, let's
Oh,
move on
Karl.
to Karl.
Oh, Karl. Speaking of Benny's shitty decisions, I was telling Wee earlier today. I said, you know, this time last year, Karl was blasting Benny for some of these same sorts of claims, including involvement with Summer, and now they're besties. It kind of tells me everything that I need to know about his character, his research, and how much he believes in his own research. So he can
Right.
just miss me with all of this bullshit that he's putting out right now, especially involving Griffey and Stella and Chip's bullshit.
That goes for both of them, to be honest. You just haven't
Yeah.
even got the courage of your own convictions. And you want other people to buy it? How about nah?
You know, unless Karl joined the ring that Benny was in.
Right? Ring a rosies. I mean, maybe you get a few shots from Tiffany for your new website, Karl. I don't know. We can only live in hope, I'm sure.
Yeah, he definitely made some crazy, crazy claims. Did you say last night that you were clipping some things, or do you want to be able to share screen?
Oh, I didn't have them
Oh, okay.
together.
No, you don't
for
have to have them ready. It's
didn't-
okay.
I have
No.
a lot of them. I have notes aplenty.
Okay.
Because I too remember, as Tango was saying there, that Benny went on a whole expedition on the YouTubes, exposing Karl, doing all the things. That's Mr. Enchanted Life Path, in case anybody didn't realize, but just to make sure that we join the dots. He said a whole lot of things. None of them were quite accurate. None of them were entirely wrong either. And yet now they're all the best of buddies. Isn't that hilarious? Hilarious.
Yeah, I
Love
find
that.
it really strange. But Benny does that, you know,
Yep. They
that
flip-flop.
frenemies thing.
Yep. Back and forth, back and forth. He doesn't know what side to be at 1 minute to the next. And
Should we watch his video that got all of this started and show everybody
yes.
this craziness that we're talking about?
Oh, yes.
Well,
Settle
it
in,
would be the
everyone.
first time I see it.
Right. You're about to learn a few things, Griffey.
How's that song go? I heard it through the grapevine.
Right? Oh, I just forgot we don't have soup here. Can you screen share, Wee?
Yep. Send me
Okay.
the.
Pearl, can you grab the link for her?
I'll grab it.
So this all started because he was looking for Chip, correct? Chip from Mystery Angeles.
Right, and then they thought they had reinvented the wheel by pointing out that there's a spelling mistake. Hello, we all noticed that day one. I mean, welcome to 2 years ago, everybody.
Well, and he also thought he was special pointing out that Chip was weird. You're a genius, Karl. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah, don't
Fucking hell,
say.
breaking news, pictures at 11.
Right.
Well, it seems that Chip had one of those fabulous YouTube resurrections. She's okay, everyone. Don't worry.
Thank goodness you
This way they
finally
die
informed
and
me
they're
because-
resurrected in a new sector.
Every time. This time she's singing duos or duets, is that what they're called?
I believe this has happened several times with Bombshell's Reputation. They started in one
Ooh.
sector and been resurrected in another.
Well, thank the good Lord that you guys informed me because I've been asked that question for over a year now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, Griffey, do you want to tell everybody what happened with you and Chip, why you left and things like that, what you did for her channel?
Yeah, well,
Just
that
give them
is a
some
very
background.
that is a very long and extensive story, which, as my previous experiences on other panels explaining what had happened, I tend to talk myself in circles. So, what I can do is we can basically fill anybody in from start to finish. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. What I can say is the last interaction I had with Chip herself was November 8th, 2021.
So it's been a while, almost 2 entire years.
It's definitely been a while. But it was what led me to leave Mystery Angels was a combination of factors. While I was there, and I mean, I was there for 2 months in total. In that time, I noticed things, and the things that I noticed were fraudulent, were bullshit, were outright lies. And when I called it out, yeah, there, there was ramifications and etc. I mean, you guys know me. I don't go into private business and stuff like that. I don't like putting people's stuff out there. But I did expose Chip for not being who she claimed to be. I did the one thing that I never in my life would do. I released recordings of myself and Chip having conversations to show everyone on YouTube that she is not who she's claiming to be. What's the first thing that Chip always said? She can't read. That was why I was needed for that channel. I was sent over there when I was at Nita's World. I was sent over to Mystery Angels to go and help with the technical aspects of that channel.
Because it
To
had
go
been
and
explained to you that this Chip lady had some mental health and physical health issues that would she would need some assistance with the
yes.
technical stuff.
Basically, I had helped Nita with her channel, with her first Restream Live, and all this, that, and the other. I managed Nita's channel for a while. I managed Mystery Angels for a while. But as I said, it was when I was at Mystery Angels, it was a period of 2 months, and I couldn't handle it anymore because the woman was a fraud. And I don't play with
remember.
stupid.
You weren't there very long. Because I was around for all of that too. And Sharon's down in the chat. She's saying, I remember this.
Me too. Watching in the bushes. Hey.
It upsets me so much when people bring up this short period and act like you did something wrong and it defines you. No, as soon as you smelled shade anywhere, you took off quietly.
Yeah.
I've never known you or Stella to get involved in any of the bullshit ever. And it infuriates me when people come out with these crazy stories about you guys. So I wanted, to see if you guys wanted a chance today to kind of set things straight.
I mean, everyone knows I was over at Nita's channel. Tiffany has even pointed that out several times and then also called me a grifter. But regardless of that, when I left Nita's world, I did it quietly. I didn't make a YouTube scene about it. I didn't go panel hopping to all of Nita's enemies and competitors and gave them all the shit. And I did the same with Chip. The only thing that I did was I released those recordings when the whole buggery with Chase, 423 Chase happened. That was when I released the recordings. Because at that point in time, I had still believed that Chase was not the bad guy. He wasn't the bad guy. I was stupid. I was stupid. To some
You weren't
extent,
the only one.
I still am stupid. I can admit my mistakes. I can admit when I was wrong. But that does not change the fact that Chip was not who she was claiming to be.
And for context purposes, there was a whole situation. This is why I think Karl has decided that he's reinvented the wheel here by suddenly remembering that Chip existed. Chip had a whole situation on Mystery Angels where she was going to help to raise money to fund billboards. You see how that comes up time and time again on the YouTubes? It's a constant situation. So, this event happened, and Chip didn't have a PayPal. She asked Griffey if she could receive the money and then pay it to the billboard company. Griffey had agreed. Anyone that was there that night witnessed a whole lot of things go on. I didn't know Griffey very well at that point. We weren't friends. But I saw a thing in her that night that I've told people before was the sign for me that this is the chick you need to get to know. Because rather than go with the crowd and do the easy thing, she chose the difficult route, which was to refund everyone that night, because she couldn't stand by what was happening. And I was there for it. I was like, that takes some cojones, rather than just going with what everybody else wants. There was people saying 100 different things. Chase was in the middle of it all. People were all back and forth. They didn't know what was happening. And Griffey was like, hold up. This is not good. I'm not standing by this. And she refunded it all. There are people who don't speak to either myself or Griffey or a whole lot of people who know that to be true. So it's curious to me how quiet they are at the moment. Very curious.
I was thinking the same thing because I was around for all of that. I remember that night.
Yep.
Griffey gave every dime back. Everything.
Oh, you guys should have been there after that stream. I got an earful from Miss Chip herself.
Oh, I bet you did.
So yeah, the last time that I spoke to Chip was November 8th, 2021. I haven't had any correspondence with her since. I don't have any any desires of any kind to have any correspondence with her. Personally, myself, I never for 1 minute thought that she had passed. To this day, I don't believe it.
Well,
But
put
that
the story in context, Griffey. There was people. Chip was telling people, and other people were telling people that Chip was very sick. Very sick. There were a range of stories that were going round and about, even before that whole stream, of what was wrong with Chip. It was the reason that, again, Griffey had been sent to that channel to assist. Griffey had only been at Nita's for a couple of weeks, and Nita had said, go over there to help this person. And she did. Griffey figured out that she didn't need an earpiece to be able to have the words on screen translated because she couldn't read. She could read them. She was answering things when she didn't have the earpiece in. It does make you question if somebody would lie about something so basic as that. What were they actually ill with in the first place? I heard Ziggy a few nights ago testify to the world, everybody, that Chip was indeed very seriously ill, and that, in her words, she had cancer.
Cancer. That's the first time that I'd heard that. I had heard that she had some kind of surgery, and it was a robotic surgery, and it messed up or something.
Well,
This
isn't
was a
that
long
kind of
time
the
ago.
problem? If there was a legit reason, there would be no need for 110 different stories, right?
Right?
It was weird to me that Ziggy knew all about this. You weren't even there, Ziggy. You weren't part of that. But you're going to get up there and tell everybody that you know this as a fact? Produce the evidence that you have then. I would love to see it.
Slight reminder here. 3 weeks ago, Ziggy announced that I was dead.
There's that. There's that. Ziggy has a great track record for this. She probably asked her cards, maybe her wires, maybe they got crossed.
Oh my lord, can you imagine?
I'll still never forget Pearl's reaction. At least she didn't try to contact me.
did she try to have a tarot reading?
Seriously, the most bizarre thing ever was there'd been email in the Jerk's email box with Pearl as the subject title. So of course you open it to discover the question, "Am I dead?" Because Ziggy has just announced that apparently I've passed on, and little sort of screenshots of people's comments in the chat. Yeah, so I went over and had a listen, and lo and behold, it was true that had happened. So I had to email back and go, no, I don't know what's going on there, but I am very much alive.
The rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated.
There are a lot of people asking in the chat if Chip is alive. We cannot find any proof of Chip's death. And a week ago, she was posting duets on a singing site. Well, someone was posting her singing on a site. So my guess would be no.
I heard this initial rumor of Chip's passing about 10 months ago. And I have checked various different places because, contrary to the Irish ambassador's claims, I am in the UK, so that does mean that you can find out certain things. And I have searched every week ever since. I searched again every day this week, 110 different ways. There is nothing to prove that she has passed. Some people are running around claiming that they know she has passed. Again, please produce some proof, because if we're wrong, I would love to see it. But it's very strange that there's videos popping up on a whole different site. Like you say, singing duets. That's an odd choice.
I think she should just get some points for coming back from the dead to do it. It's
Right.
amazing.
Zombie tunes.
I think one of the things that has just blown my mind that Griffey has said is that you haven't seen her and had any communication with her for so long. And in fact, you split away from any involvement with her at all at the point where Summer Wells had only been missing for 5 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And yet here we are with this being drug up again and you being implicated in all this bullshit. It just... It's unbelievable to me that this is happening. It's sort of like the constant need for this sector of true crime that is around the whole Summer Wells case to eat itself and regurgitate, return and eat itself again. Sort of like move on to something new. If you don't have anything constructive to say, move on.
You know, the one thing that gave me the clear indication, Miss Pearl, that Karl isn't interested in what the truth actually is. He's just there for the flash of it. He's just there to basically catch some shine off of exposing all of this.
I don't want to
He's not
see a
interested.
flashing Karl. I don't want to see flashing Karl. No. Nope.
He's not interested if it's true or not true, or what actually transpired, what happened. I mean, not once have I received an email of any sort, any kind of message from Karl asking, listen, I come across this 2 years after the fact, but I came across this and I have some questions. Would you have a problem answering them for me? You know what? In private, I would have no problem answering anybody with any questions that they may have. I don't splurge stuff like this on the internet. Because the things that Karl is doing right now does not belong on YouTube. If you truly, truly believe that I am guilty of any of these bullshit claims that you're currently trying to put on me, please take it to the authorities. I beg of you, take it to the authorities. Because bringing it to YouTube, you're just trying to stroke your small ego.
Yeah, and we see the same techniques being used over and over again, which is doxing people's identities as if that somehow shows that you've done any sort of genuine investigation. Now, all it shows is that you have the ability to look at people's details and to dox them. It doesn't mean that the story you're spinning around their identities has any credence whatsoever, but you're using it as a sort of false authority.
The sad part of that is I remember also Karl at one point being very adamant he would never do anything that would cause harm to a child. He wouldn't put pressure on parents for no reason. He wouldn't be releasing addresses and names. He wouldn't be doing any of that. And yet he's so far down the line now, he's forgotten who he was. He's forgotten his own words. Karl, you're a very lost person. Not everyone is who you think they are. And believe it or not, you do not have the authority to do anything. As Griffey said, if there was any merit to any of these claims, even if you had a shred of evidence, that should have been turned over to law enforcement immediately. What are you going to do? Nothing. And you hear my accent, Karl? I'm just a smidge closer than Griffey is. I know very well what I'm saying right now.
I'm very close. I'm about an hour and 25 minutes away. Karl, why is it that you are speculating about the behaviour of people in South Africa and people in Tennessee when you live in a large city in a country that has a lot of its own problems with just this sort of behaviour towards children, and yet you're not investigating anything local? But of course, we both know why that is. Because if you tried pulling this bullshit on people that actually lived around you, they'd be able to spread your remains on a Ritz cracker. So you're a big man on the internet trying to crush the reputation of women from overseas, but you've got nothing to say about what's going on around you.
Yeah. There's a whole lot to say about a whole lot, but it's almost like you're trying to be the UK Alex Jones here, Karl, and it's not working out well for you, son. How have your previous 2 businesses worked out? Oh, that's right. I know. Hey. You can thank Benny for that, by the way.
Speaking of that, that's another point I wanted to just ask. Karl has no problem putting out everybody's names and their entire business, regardless if they did anything wrong or not. So he must also be okay with all the information that Benny has put out on him.
Well, he must be.
Is that his way of acknowledging that that is true and factual information that was brought out? Just because it was on YouTube?
Yeah.
I mean,
Benny said a lot, so I'm sorry about that, Karl, if that's the case. It sounds like you have a whole lot to be dealing with right there, if that's truthful.
yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what all I can. Well, I can basically say all the things. I can tell you everything that you guys would like to know. I just don't have a clear indication of what you guys would like to know.
Well, I think the important parts are you'd only just come to this sector of YouTube a matter of weeks. And this was after Summer had already been missing. You were asked to go there by Nita. Go ahead, Karl. Ask Nita some questions. I'm sure she has the answers for you, love. We can't find any evidence that Chip has passed. Maybe she has answers for you. But the last time that Griffey had any communication with Chip was the 8th of November 2021. Why have you waited till now to ask if you surely thought that there was anything inappropriate going on there, which you have brought up before? Why have you not done anything about it?
I always believe that there's a reason behind the timings of things, and I don't find it coincidental that you are bringing up the whole subject of Griffey and Stella when other people within this sector have got an axe to grind with them, equally unjustified. I believe that you are feeding into that whole process of wanting to make them pay for some unspoken thing that nobody seems completely sure about. The timing strikes me as being far from coincidental. What I wanted to say to Griffey was, Karl is very focused on this whole sort of Mystery Angels children aspect. And it struck me when I was listening to what he was saying and when I read the article, because I have listened to what you said, Karl, and I have read the article, and I don't take any of it seriously, which is why I'm not going into it in depth. But I did want to say to Griffey, I think that everybody can state quite clearly that no untrained person should be encouraging children to contact them for support.
No, I agree with you completely.
It struck me that it was only Chip's voice on this story. And the fact that she's mentioning other people doesn't mean that other people have co-signed it. I mean, did you find that surprising when you suddenly heard that? I mean, did you have any idea that she was presenting that as a group enterprise at all?
Well, what had happened at that point in time when she was doing Mystery Angels Jr., it was never supposed to be the children that contacted her mods, Griffey and Stella. I mean, Mystery Angels Jr. did come up in the live streams once or twice when people were in the chat were telling Chip that their children love Chip and want to hear about Auntie Chip and this, that, and the other. So, of course, that made Chip's heart beat with joy. And she thought, okay, she wants to make a Mystery Angels Jr. channel where she could tell all these bedtime stories, and she could live stream playing games and the kids could watch. And I mean, at face value, it all looked innocent if you didn't know the workings of YouTube and how very fucked up people can be. So it was supposed to be basically just a channel where everybody would be welcome. It would not have been just the children. It would have been the parents of the children watching with the children and listening with the children, as I said, with a weird bedtime story thing. But at no point in time were there any kids supposed to be emailing me and Stella. That was twisted because no children have ever emailed myself or Stella, because if that had happened, you would have definitely heard me about it. That is not something I stand for. I have children of my own. Stuff like that does not happen. When it involves a child, the parent of that child is the one that makes the arrangements if they want their child to participate in any sort of thing, any activity. It would be pretty much the same thing as the schools over here. If you want your child to be in a concert, you need to sign a permission form. You need to be the one. The child can't sign the permission form for themselves. And that is the one thing that it really hit the wrong nerve with me when I heard that it was said that the children should email myself and Stella. I mean, just another thing to point out, when I left Mystery Angels, and some of the people that have been in Mystery Angels, that have been in the Mystery Angels Discord, that have had the Mystery Angels 99 email, I set up that Discord. I set up that email because Chip couldn't read, remember? She needed somebody to do all that admin work for her.
Were there children involved in that Discord or email
No,
correspondence, Griffey?
no, at no point in time.
Did any children ever contact you, Griffey?
No. I would not correspond with any child.
So at this point, I would just say that, if Karl can prove anything other than that, can prove it.
And
To show
another
the
thing
proof, or just shut up.
that I can give to a little old Karl over there. When I left Mystery Angels, I deleted the Discord. I deleted that email address. Why did I do that, Karl? I did that because I wanted no part in it. I didn't want my name anywhere associated with it because it felt wrong.
Kind of similar to the way that Benny's been locked out of his channel, but that's just a whole separate thing. So just as a way aside there's a parallel for you. For those of you who want to know why this is happening, let the dots join themselves.
So in effect, Karl has chosen to dox you and to imply that you are part of some sort of grooming circle based on the words of a known liar that you did not co-sign, that you did not accept as a responsibility, and that you took no part in.
Correct.
Bit of a reach there, Karl.
And not only did he dox me, but he doxed my wife as well. That is one thing, Karl, that severely pissed me off. You can say about me whatever you want. As I said to you before, if you believe that I am guilty of any of this bullshit that you're trying to pin on me, take it to the authorities. Take it there. Leave my wife alone. She has not done a damn thing to anybody on YouTube. I mean, if you were even to spend 5 minutes of your oh so precious time to look at a live stream that I had on my channel, which is also not for children and has also got nothing to do with the true crime sector of YouTube. If you were to go and look, you would see that she hardly says a word when we live stream. We actually celebrate when she steps up and says something. So quit throwing her name out there as if she did something wrong.
And to make that clear for everyone, for anyone who has a PayPal account, usually your government name, as people term it, your Christian name, whatever you want to say, is on the PayPal address. Especially in certain countries, it has to be. Griffey has always known that her name is out there. So I love the way that, again, he thought he'd reinvented the wheel and found this little nugget of excitement. No, she always knew that was there, because she isn't doing anything that you're claiming, Karl. And Karl has more than just alluded to certain things. He has outright made serious accusations.
Oh yeah, he's named it a child grooming network, as if it's a very real thing. And also, you creepy little bigot, when you said that they were allegedly a same-sex married couple, goodness me, don't you give yourself away with every word that you write.
Yep. Now that we're getting to the nuts and bolts of the thing, is that your problem, Karl? They're not interested in you.
Yeah, sorry, Cole. I love my wife. She's way hotter than you.
I don't swing that way at all. I'm definitely a girl who's cock for life. But given a choice between Karl and Stella, Stella, what are you doing tonight?
Sorry, Miss Pearl. She's busy.
I can't stop giggling when Pearl says she's cock for life. Every time she does it, I die.
Well, technically, so are we, just the other kind.
I am a sex-positive woman in all ways, and I firmly believe that people should live their lives how they want to. And reading that as a heterosexual married woman, the immediate red flag that went up, Karl, was you trying to insinuate that anybody who isn't a red-blooded heterosexual male, that sector of the population that never sexually abuses anybody else, that anybody who's not heterosexual somehow has got some sort of very deviant, the deviant layers go right down. They're 4 layers of deviant in a trench coat. We can see you. We see you.
I have pulled up one little video to show at the bottom. Karl has made a whole lot of videos and a whole lot of YouTube posts and a whole lot of Twitter posts. Multiple platforms he's doing this on. Here, Karl, do the company that provide your web hosting, do they understand the position that you're putting them in? Do they?
Oh, that is very interesting, because regardless of what the terms of service are of YouTube, your individual internet provider, Karl, in Europe, definitely has limitations about what it's willing to let you force it to co-sign by using its platform.
and hiding behind the shield of being an independent journalist doesn't work too well these days. You have to actually have some ethics and moral standing. You don't have that, Karl. You don't.
And
How's
you're
that
not conveniently protected by the First Amendment over there in
right?
Liverpool.
The A1 community in Liverpool.
Oh, the A1 community. It's a damn good steak.
Right. So you'll see from this handy dandy little video, it's only a couple of minutes, but Karl obviously isn't able to differentiate between who Chip is, and there have been multiples. Also, anybody that is in contact with Griffey, Stella, myself, the Jerks, will be able to swear to the fact that not one of us have asked them not to go and watch Karl. Not one of us. Go and
No.
watch if you want to. Go and listen to it if you want to. We haven't had to slander you, Karl, and that's the way it'll stay. But I don't play nicely either. I just don't need to be as dirty as you are.
Yeah, apart from mentioning the fact that you live so close by in Liverpool, I haven't mentioned anything at all about your life off the internet and the way that you choose to live it, or what you're employed as, or any of that, because it's not material. I'm quite happy to drag you with your own words about other people. There's plenty to drag. Shout out to Liplocked in the chat. I know that she's had her own run-ins with Mr. Karl. I hope you're enjoying the drag. Also, really, really sorry to hear that little old man crossed the Rainbow Bridge. God bless him.
Okay, so this video is called Article Mystery Angels. So he hasn't spelled the name the way that the channel name is spelled for a start. That's just one. Mystery Angels Child Grooming Network at large on YouTube. At large from what, Karl? Chip, Griffey, Stella, Kriss. Now, just as a little aside before we get started, we'll talk about Kriss after the video, because there's some things to be said. And by the way, Karl, you're looking in the wrong place, love.
Karl's research stands on its own.
Crowded places, feel it sinking in. Lonely faces, say you need a friend. No matter the distance, I will always be there. No more inhibition, I'll show you I care. You've been lost and alone in the city of lights and night.
Do you see the person he's circling there on the screen? Is that Griffey? Is it Stella? Oh, no, no. Carry on, Karl. Carry on.
Getting hot, feeling low, and it's out of your control. You should know that I won't leave you. I'll stay beside you. I'm never letting you go. You've been lost and alone in the city lights, I know. But I will guide you home.
Okay, so you can see that on the screen that says Chip Atkinson tells the kids. Now, Chip Atkinson is not Griffey and it's not Stella, but let's carry on. Chip Atkinson tells the kids who she is targeting that if they are struggling to sleep, then they can contact her on Facebook, as well as her friends who she refers to as Uncle Chris, Auntie Stella, and Auntie Riffy. Now, Karl, again, you need to do a wee bit of a spell check on your own work here because you're letting yourself down here at this point. In more ways than one. Your research is pathetic enough. Your grasp of the English language is pitiful at best. And your video editing ain't shit.
Always by yourself in the shadows. Yeah, you cry for help.
And he helpfully put in the hyperlink to Griffey's channel. Thanks for the promotion, Karl. That'll make it all the better whenever your web provider is contacted. Thank you.
I'll show you I care. You've been lost and alone in the city and lights turn up. No, getting high, feeling low, and it's out of your control.
Now, Karl has deduced here that because Chip, who is an English lady, had said a thing, that Chip has somehow organized, I quote, an international network of child groomers. Again, I don't want any of you to come to us if you have proof of somebody doing child grooming activities. Take that directly to law enforcement. They are the ones who handle that, not YouTube. The next sentence is Amanda and Christella are a same-sex married couple from South Africa. Like that's some sort of combination of red flags that he's waving here. Karl, all that does is say a lot about you, not about them.
You should know that I won't leave you. I'll stay beside you. I'm never letting you go. You've been lost and alone in the city lights, I know.
After being highlighted as using alarming child grooming language, Chip resorted to deleting all the videos from her junior Mystery Angels YouTube channel. That's kind of amazing for a dead person, right? Karl, have you never thought to ask yourself who might be in charge of that channel? Have you? I can tell you who it's not. It's not anybody attached to the Jerks. It's not Griffey and Stella. And it's not myself. Good luck, Karl. Good luck.
But I will guide you home.
So there we go, everybody. That was Karl's little expose. Aren't you well informed now? Karl, if you had done the same thing to anybody who is in the UK and isn't pretending to be dead, or anybody with the same capabilities as you think you have just opened a world of misery onto yourself, son. That's it, Pearl. For that one. He's
I'm
done like
sorry.
20 videos.
Yes. And to be honest, you won't learn anything more than you just learned from that one, because the substance is severely lacking. We're talking about using buzzwords, sort of the way that he implies things by using certain terms. Just the fact that somebody could say a grooming network because they thought it was questionable that somebody was reading stories on the internet and bigging themselves up as somebody that children could come to, which nobody here supports. From the get-go, we've all said, no one who is not a professional should be encouraging other people's children to have contact with them. No one is supporting that idea, so you can put that to rest. And it just is ridiculous to me that you are blaming two people, whereas the main person of the couple who actually had any association with Chip, they were sent over there by somebody else that they were helping. They were helping set up the channel, and they haven't been involved since 2021. During, as I said, at the point where Summer Wells have been missing for 5 months, and yet you're digging this up now and making a big deal of it now. It just seems ridiculous, and I really would love to know what the ulterior motive is underneath this, because I refuse to take this as face value as a serious thing. I just can't. It absolutely speaks to me of character assassination and doxing for the sake of doxing, because there is some other axe to grind that is going on. Very much in the way that all this venom is being focused on Valoma. I find it interesting that we're seeing so much pressure being put on Griffey and Stella. I don't believe you. I feel this is just another fake outrage, but this is worse because this isn't pretending to be outraged by an actual insult that happened. This is a step beyond that. You are you're out and out stating by the descriptions that you use that this is a grooming network that exists in reality now, and you have no basis for that whatsoever. You have doxed these people. You are interfering in their lives. As Griffey has said, if you genuinely believed there was anything to this, you would have gone to the authorities. What is in this for you, Karl? What are you getting out of this? I mean, other than some sort of bedroom time kick, why are you trying to ruin these women's lives on the basis of next to nothing?
But then again, this comes from the same group of people who didn't even know that Levid still has a channel, all of his very own. Levid, who's been doing the most on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, doing all the things, and they just thought he had disappeared. You're quite the little team of researchers over there, aren't you? But well done on knocking yourselves out 2 years later. We've no idea whether she's alive or dead. I can find no proof. Can you? The amount of zombies coming out of that channel is kind of ungodly, to be honest, at this
I would
point.
have thought that Karl, with his hand on so much information and being in the UK, would have actually knuckled down and tried to find death certificates. Surely he has enough information to look that up. Or at least he suggests that he has enough personal information that he would be able to look that up.
You would hope so, but then again, you couldn't figure out on most of his videos who was actually on the screen. He was saying an awful lot about Griffey and Stella while talking about the other people that were on the video. None of them were Griffey and Stella. Not one. It's really interesting to me how this is going down. It's interesting to me that some people follow it. The same sheep he talks about are the very people that are in his comments thread sucking it all up. Love that for you, Karl. Those are your people, man.
Oh yeah, but when he talks about sheep, he doesn't mean his flock. He means those other sheep.
He is a better breed of sheep.
As long as it's
Oh.
not an scapegoat. I'm so tired of this.
Oh,
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth, Tanga. I was wondering if you had a flock of scapegoats.
it wasn't even about the goat. Last week when that convict was still on the run, and the person in question kept saying the escaped convict. Just no. There's no X in there.
Supposedly.
Right.
Another crowd pleaser.
We could list these words. We could be here all day. By the way,
Liplock is
Karl.
nowhere near Hadrian's Wall.
Visual is
He's far
much more
closer to
tolerable with your
Oxford.
little giggle following.
For some.
Here for it.
Karl, you want to know where Kriss from Missing 411 is? Go ask Ernie. There you go. You're welcome, love. Now, whenever you're taking down all the videos that you have of Griffey and Stella, you can't say that we didn't do anything for you. But go and ask Ernie. It's wild that you have to wait for things to be told to you. You're welcome.
Speaking of that, Chris dude, I've had no private or any sort of correspondence with that man since I left Mystery Angels. I know Stella became friends with his wife in the time that we were at Mystery Angels, but she hasn't spoken to her in about a year already. There are no correspondence between us. So yeah, go bark up your tree if you want to. But yeah, sorry, the narrative you're trying to spin over here, it's not holding any water.
Not the narratives. Oh no! Oh no!
Bingo!
There's a plethora of narratives.
You can't say that. Only Soup can say that.
I so wish Soup was here, because there's one thing that she needs to say to Karl. You can't even do wrong right.
Yeah. I had to throw that one in for Soup since she isn't up here tonight. I knew she would have had plethora in there somewhere.
She would have had a plethora of plethoras.
Exactly.
Keep it up, and I'm bringing out the pigeon.
So yeah, what is your problem, Karl? I can promise you this. I would not associate in any way myself with someone who is any way into child grooming. That is why I do not associate with a whole lot of people on here. They do a whole lot of questionable stuff. That little character that you so happily highlighted on a video, that was me. Do you know what it's called? It's an avatar, love. People use them for video content on YouTube, on Twitch, and on various other platforms. I know that that was a whole shock to your brain, but it's quite common. If you're going to go around YouTube labeling people who use an avatar as some sort of unfortunate, oh, God help you.
I'm curious now, which one did you have a problem with? The Chihuahua, the Weasel? Which version of the Avatar Wii did you have an issue with?
Well, he was strangely drawn, and I use those words very carefully, to the little pixie one.
The little pixie one.
Yeah, the one that, is deliberately not made to look like a human being. There was a reason for that, Karl, and it's not because it was meant for any child content whatsoever. That is not what we do here. Is that what you do, Karl, with your, the book that you had written, Karl, that's still for sale on Amazon? The reading age of it is for children. You're the one who makes material for children, Karl. That's you.
That's the sound
This
of a
is when
mic
I wish
drop.
I had a sound effect that does a dun dun dun.
The special victims. Doo, doo. Yep. That's still there. You can go and find that, and you can use all the information that Benny happily put out into the world to go and find it. Thanks, Benny.
He's a doll.
I would imagine that his storytelling is especially heinous. Dun, dun.
Crimes against the English language. There were less than 30 pages in it, though. So there's that. God love him. He didn't exactly knock himself out. Yeah. Love that for you, Karl. Love it.
So sort of second year dissertation length. Not really book.
Yeah, more pamphlet, hefty pamphlet.
How dare you dox my stripper name?
Stop.
Oh dear. So yeah, there's a lot of little nuggets for you, Karl. If you go back, because God love you, you couldn't hold on to yourself. You had to run to YouTube and set up a stream before we burst your little bubble. So whenever you watch this back, you can sit down with a handy dandy notebook and a little pen. You won't need 30 pages, love, but you can take notes, and that'll help you find the answers that you so clearly want. You're welcome.
Welcome.
You're never gonna say you're welcome correctly again, are you?
Never. Never.
And
It's in
for
group.
that, you're welcome.
See what you did? You got Griffey doing it too.
You guys see Pearl in chat.
Yep.
Tonight on the center pole, it's the erotic moves and the hefty pamphlet. That's
When
great.
people wonder why a lot of us have walked away from these people who claim to surround true crime on YouTube, with research like that, what do you expect?
Amen.
I haven't needed to do 20 videos to disprove, Karl. We don't need to do 20 live streams. We would all run for the hills by the second one. Karl, sort yourself out, son. Oh, but by the way, have you any more articles that were posted in the Daily Mail recently? I looked and couldn't find any more, just those UFOs. I love that that's your niche, by the way. Love it. Again, thanks, Benny.
Yeah, this is he's something. Karl, sort yourself. I like that. That's good for him. He needs to be sorted.
One thing I am curious about, though, he wants to expose the mystery angel child grooming network, yet he focuses on me and Stella, who were there for 2 months, who were there for technical stuff, who never received any emails from any children. And you don't ever hear me asking anywhere on any panel for any child to contact me. So, what's the deal, Cole? Yeah, you lonely? You need some attention? What's the deal? Because I don't understand. I'm sorry for the brief interruption. It was just momentary sparks of WTF that comes through in me.
We're with you. We're with you. And so is John David.
Everywhere.
Sounds of it. Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Karl does indeed suck all the way.
You know who else sucks? Let me
Who?
remind
It's a long
you.
list. No.
Let me remind you.
He'll never forget it. Who said, I'm going to have a come to Jesus with that man. And pretty much if he's not 100%
He doesn't tell me.
honest,
He doesn't
Yeah.
tell me what I know he knows. I'm gonna kill him.
you're going to gut him like fish
I'm gonna gut him like a fish
in the woods.
in the woods.
And yeah, we were like, wow.
Just
In the
thought I would
woods.
everybody.
And I don't even think, unlike Valoma, that wasn't words in the heat of anger. He was quite proud to retell the story again and again and again without remorse. It's the same man who happily laid out the plan and the execution of the plan he made to gain entry to the home that his now ex-wife was in. That's why he wears that little ankle bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a threat, Benny. That's who you are.
So he is. That's who he is. He's just, what costume is he wearing with that hairdo? I just want to know.
They're like little public hair beard on the chin. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
That little tuft at the top has been backcombed to within an inch of its life. It's not going to take much more. God help it. Pray for that little tuft of hair, everyone, please.
Somebody needs to. Sweet baby Cheez-Its. We are gathered here today.
And the wee tiny donkey.
I'm glad that we were able to get together today. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, that's cool. But I'm just glad that we were able to get together and at least talk about this. You know what I mean? So that everybody knows what actually happened.
I have a question of my own, actually, which is ironic considering I'm here to answer questions. If
What's your question?
Chip was posting stuff, or if she is in fact not with us anymore, who is posting stuff? Where is the sudden activity on the Mystery Angels and Mystery Angels Junior channel coming from? Who's doing that? Because I can tell you who it's not. It's not me, and it's not Stella. So there's my question. If we were to believe what's been told, that Chip is not with us anymore, who's in control of those channels? Who's doing
Karl.
all of that?
Karl, you know anything about that, Karl?
I'm sure that top-notch researcher has all the answers. All of them. None of them will be right, but he has all of the answers.
But he will say it matter-of-factly.
Oh, very, very much so. And again, just in case you missed it, Karl, that's why I'll point you to Ernie whenever you're looking for Mr. Missing 411. He's not somebody any of us associate with. For good reason. You want to find him? Go find him. You can do that all by yourself.
Oh yeah, Benny. Kriss would like you to know. She can't stand Andrew. She's not in love with him.
Kriss with a K? Fat Kriss?
Yeah, the Kriss with the K and an Italian flag.
Italian.
Oh, Italian. Those are different.
Right? Benny got transported to
They're
1945 all in one heartbeat. It was kind of, it was unfortunate, Benny. Unfortunate. You
Did
give
he say
yourself
that?
away.
Did he say that in the King's English?
I don't think he's caught up that far yet. Isn't that what Australians speak?
I told Kriss today I'm so happy for her. A new love, a car dealership. Way to go, girl.
So yeah, sorry to burst your bubble, everybody. We're not running anything over here apart from a couple of YouTube channels independent of each other. The jerks were kind enough to not only see the absolute absurdity in the claims that Karl was making, because they've been around for a hot minute, but as one of them clearly stated, Griffey and Stella's character stands up for itself. Karl's not so much. Love that for you, Karl.
The real Gigi, hello.
We love Gigi. Gigi was around watching a bunch of this too. Some of the way back gang is here. Saw Lisa Jones.
I mean, it didn't work out too well for Alex Jones. As far as I recall, God love him, he's going to be working several dimensions into the future to even begin to think of having anything called pocket money, never mind pay his own bills. So if that's the way you're headed, Karl, God help you, son.
Bright Superior Dreams.
Does anybody else have any questions? The videos are all there for you to see. The content is there for you to go and look at. Make your own decisions. If you have any questions, come and ask. We're not scared of having to give whatever explanations we have. Equally, anybody with any information that leads to child grooming or any illegal activity on YouTube, please take it to law enforcement. Please.
Yeah, not a community post. Law enforcement. Just saying. Well, if nobody has any more questions, are you guys about ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we could probably wrap it up. I know 6 is going live here at 8:30, right, 6? I believe so.
How long is that
I
from
just wanted.
now? Because I'm on, you know me, I'm stuck
It's
in
15 minutes from now, honey. 15 minutes away.
Yay! And sorry for the
Sorry.
hiccup, everybody. That was just a whole lot of unfortunate technical issues, but we're grateful for each and every one of you that turned up. Tell your friends, tell your granny, tell your next door neighbor, tell the cat. Make sure you tell everything that you were here.
Tell Karl.
Tell Karl. Yeah. Hey, Karl. Hey.
Hey, Karl.
We, Mazzy Keen, would like to know if she can get a discount on my nudes. She's like $7 off.
I'll get my
My
people
nuds.
to talk to
Sorry,
your
I
people.
mispronounced it.
Brandon Draven wants to know if you have an email.
Same as my username, gmail.com.
There you go. And then we want to
Should we
wish.
play a video before we go out?
Yeah. We're going to wish Lenny much luck and prayers for safety as Hurricane Lee hits near her tomorrow. Starts tomorrow.
Yes, good luck.
Lenny and everyone
Be
in the
careful.
path. Please be careful. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So I think I know which video will run.
Bingo is still rolling until your card is full. Bingo is still rolling, and we have 3 prizes for the first 3 that turn them in.
Yeah, for those wondering, that's a members only game that we're playing, and for members, it is on the members only tab on the community page. Am I saying that correctly? And that's where the rules are, and that's where people collected their cards, and that is where when somebody eventually fills out their entire card, they will claim it there. So if nobody's claimed it there, it's still going, and it will keep going until a winner has been determined. All right, ready for our commercial now before we go out?
I am. Thanks for
Okay,
being
here we
here,
go.
Wee and Griffey.
Yes,
you
thank you
for
so
for
much,
having
ladies.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us up.
Do you have an annoying car? Do you have an annoying teen? Is your annoying teen eating up the dollars you need to replace your annoying car? Does it feel like you'll never get that dream car that you promised yourself when you grew up? Are you looking for a solution? Willing to try a new idea? Well, Kriss Kars for Kids could have just the answer you're looking for. Come on down to your local Kriss Kars for Kids dealership and see what's on offer. Don't forget to bring your old car. And most importantly, that spare teenager that's been cluttering up your kitchen. Here's how it works. You bring your kid in, sign some quick paperwork, and pick out your car.
Children are not refundable. Terms and conditions apply.
And that's that. You just drive away.
Beep beep, motherfuckers.
Beep, beep, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks for being here.
You're embarrassing yourself. Go to bed.
Good night.